Hey everybody, it's time for some letters for the, let's say, 13th of October, 2021. I wish you would rehang your flag the proper way, says Johnny B. I don't know, is that flag, I've seen other people hanging the American flag the way it is usually in my studio there, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but is it backwards or something? I mean, you can hang it that way. I don't know, man. Hey, we hear from Laney will travel there. Formerly the Busking Bushkins, right? Or the Busking Bushkins or whatever. Laney says, hi Dave, so glad you met my Nomad brother Woody. That's Van Camp and Woody. Anyway, ain't he great? He is great. He's very great. And yeah, I'm going out to Arizona sometime in November, so hopefully I'll get to see you, huh? Ryan C says, you always said you never would get a Patreon. What changed your mind? What changed my mind is the fragility of the YouTube universe. I've had a Patreon set up since 2019 when I was down in Georgia. I actually did it there, and I just never activated it. And I decided that, number one, there is so much stuff I can't say on YouTube anymore because of the regulations. There's so many rules, words you can't say, topics you can't talk about, that I decided I wanted to continue to do stuff that I can't say. So, I mean, where else can I do it? I put it on another platform. I had CocoScope, which was free, but CocoScope went away. So I've decided to do the Patreon thing. You know, I mean, you know, it's, there are different tiers, but $5 a month is, basically gets you everything. And it's just me talking about stuff I can't talk about on YouTube. It's not something that I would put on YouTube normally and then putting it there instead. No, it's stuff I can't say on YouTube. So that's all it is. If you want to watch it, go ahead. If you don't, that's cool. Anyway, look at that guy over there. He's got a crown on. Can you see that? Looks like one of those Burger King crowns. He's the Burger King. Looks like Wandering Jimmy's dad, huh? I don't know, man. Look at him. That's cool. He's the king. Randy the Mobile Traveler. Would he possibly miss Lollapalooza? Yeah. Not a chance. Not a chance. Look, he's a nice, I like Randy. I really do like Randy, okay, He fixed his own transmission. He got some help and he did it. He didn't go into a shop and show you the bill and everything else. He did it himself. You got to hand it to him, right? Right? C. Gillespie says, 44 years ago today, I graduated basic combat training, and oh boy, was I happy about that. That is definitely something that will come in very, very handy in the nomadic world. Oh, yeah. You can't skimp on security. Oh, are we on? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Charles says, I bet that axle is bent. Yeah, we were talking about RV Rebel Girl, how she keeps having issues with her back wheels on her trailer, how they come out of alignment and the whatever that is. But, she runs down the road and all of a sudden the wheels kind of bent and, anyway, bet that axle is bent if she has a recurring problem, and it could have been that way from new, having the axle checked, he says have the axle checked before she repairs it again or she's wasting money. So do that, RV Rebel Girl Carolyn, have your axle checked, or else you might be wasting money, Life truncated here. Life says, swear these nomads go through more transmissions than I've ever seen. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Again, I don't think a lot of these vehicles are made very well, or they're not made for 24/7, 365 use. A lot of these nomads are using their vehicles as permanent dwellings every day, driving them around. Some of them are overloaded in weight. They've got too much stuff in them. Etc. Some of them are old, I mean, we see a lot of old vehicles. We see a lot of overloaded vehicles. We see a lot of vehicles that probably weren't made too well in the first place. Maybe you've had 3 or 4 different owners. Maybe, driving them up and down steep, hills and logging roads and stuff like that. Yeah, the transmissions do tend to wear out, right? Probably more often than if you just used a vehicle on an average basis, whatever that is. Hey, we hear from Van Camp and Woody. Nebo is doing well after a follow-up. Thanks for the snout out. Oh, the shout out, yeah. Good. Nebo, we love the YouTube puppies, don't we? We love the dogs. That's right. I got to meet Nebo last week when, or the week before that, right? 2 weeks ago when Van Camp and Woody was here. More people are giving advice to RV Rebel Girl, excuse me. Use a grease buddy bearing cap with grease fitting. Use waterproof grease. Grease the hitch, ball, socket. Tighten the nut, not to remove any slack. For less wiggle on the hitch, weld a bead down each side. Grind down to a tight fit. Use an etching primer, then epoxy paint, or have the receiver powder coated. Just hope the bot doesn't flag me on that one, because it did sound a little, it did sound a little, whoa. Nick G says, Gabby Brian views, Gabby subs views, Gabby super chats, Brian subs, Gabby views, Brian, etc. Hey, I like to think of myself as a news organization to some degree, and they were nomads. They were on YouTube. I think it's and everybody's wondering where the heck is Brian. If we can do a little bit of good by maybe publicizing that he might be somewhere like in the North Carolina mountains or something, I don't know. I'm not going to say we're going to solve the case, but if we can do our little bit here, I'm willing to do that. And if I get a few extra views, so be it. Carl says, watching Camo Dave these past few months has reminded me to trim the wild hairs that grow out of my ears. Charles also says, true, William Shatner will be the oldest person to go to space. He did. He went up 11 minutes. He was an 11-minute flight this morning in Jeff Bezos' big penile rocket. And, oops, I should say P-E-N-I-L-E. I don't want to get that. Anyway, yeah. And everything went okay. So, yeah, it is funny that Captain Kirk is currently holding the record as the oldest human being to make it into space. And that's pretty cool, don't you think? Revelator Phoenix says, Dave, you keep repeating yourself. Revelator Phoenix says, Dave, you keep repeating yourself. Jumping says, we love the nomadic life. Granted, we weren't living in a van, but still wandering was awesome. But sometimes you have to make changes that suit the changes in life that come along over time. I think we were incredibly lucky to spend 5 years on the road. That is 5 years you're going to treasure your whole life. I'm sure of it. Good and bad, really. It's 5 years that you'll probably have very good memories of all the traveling you do. I think one of the things I do kind of say to myself as I approach my sixth decade of life, is the fact that, or is it sixth? Yeah, first, I don't know. How as old as I am, is I haven't done more traveling, and once you get to the certain point in life, you can't do more traveling, right? So do it while you can. And we hear from the Doxinator, a Sopranos ending. It's not fade to black, it's just cut to black.